swag of a prize fighter. The antithesis of a firefighter. Arsonist, I'm a fire rider. Instant flame like a firelighter. So special with shows, I live out my flows. Can't walk in my shoes, can't purchase my clothes. Ice in my veins, but I never froze. Picture perfect, but I never pose. As a juvenile, I knew I bounced back. Got rated, had a plan to get my ounce back. Use cheese as bait, that's a mousetrap. Let me to the right person to pounce at. They selling dreams, I'm pulling receipts. Full force, we can't be beat. Got a dirty mouth, but the flow so neat. Keep your 2 cents, talk is cheap.
The next topic we're going to discuss on Boxing Bros is Ryan Garcia says he felt weak because of the rehydration clause. Let's take a listen and then we'll discuss this. All right. So here's Ryan Garcia speaking on the rehydration clause.
You said you felt good and you felt strong. I wondered, was the fact that you had to make the 136 pounds and then only the rehydration up to 146, did that in any way sap you of any power or energy, did you think, in the fight?
I mean, from an honest, perception of it, I didn't feel too good. I mean, I felt a little weak, going into the ring. My legs didn't feel too much under me, but once the fight got going, it kind of all came together. So I can't really pin that too much, you know what I mean? It is what it is. I signed the contract, and that's that. You said you felt good and you felt strong.
So, I respect that answer.
That's what Ryan had to say. G's been saying it basically since we started the show. So, G, what's your reaction to that?
Oh, no, I'm just saying I agree with him. And salute to Ryan, because it's not like he's using it as an excuse. He's just like, hey, you know what? My legs wasn't fully there, but when the fight started, man, I was in the fight. So he's like, I can't really use that as an excuse. So respect for Ryan, man. Like, he's just being honest. Like, I don't look at Ned's face. I don't see what the issue is, man. It's like, come on, all of us, we just know, like, yeah, that plays a factor. Now, the real question is, why did you agree to the rehydration clause? You know what I mean? So to me, it's like he agreed, which he said, I agreed to it. So it's like, it shouldn't be a situation. I don't think he was looking for an excuse. What I think is happening is the boxing world, the people that interview boxers and everything, they're already creating this.
No, I'm not letting that happen.
Like,
no, the boxing world don't care about a rehydration clause, yo. I'm swearing.
Hey, go ahead, let him run.
Go ahead and cook, bro.
Like for example, I seen the clip where Conor McGregor went to Ryan Garcia's locker room and was like, yo, you need to run it back, but this time run it back without a rehydration clause. Like, people, that's already like the built-in excuse for this kid, right? So what I'm thinking is going to happen is Ryan's probably going to fight Tank again, maybe in the future at like 147 or something, right? Maybe Tank will never make it 147. Maybe 140, one day at 140 then or something, right? Like, maybe they'll fight years later, maybe like in 2 years or something. Then it'll be a little different. And then people's going to use this as the example, like, because of the rehydration clause, that's why his performance was trash. So run it back. You know how it is. It's all marketing, So, like, Ryan, though, however, isn't the one that's creating these excuses. It's the media that's creating these excuses. It's other people, the fans and stuff, that are creating excuses for him. So he's just staying humble, and he's giving the answers that we expect from boxers. No excuses. And that's what he just said. Pretty much no excuses.
TV.
Clearly, we can see G's Team Ryan, but it's okay.
What are you talking about? Yeah, this
is clearly your Team Ryan, because you're giving all these excuses to give, and I blame G for this segment because Ryan agreed to everything. He agreed. The fight happened because Ryan agreed to everything. This fight would never happen if Ryan was like, "No, I'm not going to rehydrate. No, I'm not going to fight in a 10-foot ring. No, I'm not going to fight in certain circumstances and situations like that." But Ryan agreed to this fight, and it happened. So I'm not letting Ryan off the hook. Ryan stepped in the ring.
Ned, can you explain where me and you actually disagree?
You keep giving him like he needed to rehydrate. The rehydration clause. It's like, no, he agreed to it. I didn't
say that. No. I didn't listen to what I'm saying. You gotta understand what I'm saying. Comprehension is key. You know.
No, G, don't do that. You're not doing that right now because every time you start,
I'm just being honest. What I'm saying is, it's not Ryan doing this. It's literally the boxing world coming up with excuses for Ryan. Ryan's answer is what we expect from boxing.
Ryan just said I was dehydrated, I was underweight, this, that.
But he didn't say that.
No. Validate his excuses. We're not validating his excuses. That's all I'm saying.
Ned.
No, validate his excuses.
Nobody's validating
this thing. You agreed to the fight.
It's like talking
to fight. No, G. You're validating his excuses.
No, I'm not. Yo, listen to what I just said. Ryan's not providing us with any excuses. His answer was clear. He's essentially saying there's no excuses. I agree to the rehydration clause. That's what Ryan said. The question came from the person that's the boxing news reporter who asked him the question. That's where the excuses are coming from, not from Ryan himself. That's the difference.
His answer sounded like it was an excuse. That's all I'm saying.
Well, so what should he have said that made you feel like it wasn't an excuse?
I stepped in the ring. I wasn't the better man, and I lost. That's it. That's all I want to hear. I wasn't the better man tonight, and I lost. Right.
That's cool.
That's all. But not to cut you off, you can finish.
I cut you off, bro. Go ahead.
That was my segment. You're right. So I don't agree with any of this. Excuse me. Ryan, you lost. You stepped in the ring with a killer, and you thought you was a killer. You thought all the followers gas you up, get you to the point where you thought you was ready to fight the elite in the division. And I'm not gonna lie, I felt Tank had some questions on his resume and everything like that. But Tank, he delivered every fight after fight. He delivered, and last night, he delivered pretty well. And I'm like, I can't see anything. Like I can't agree. I can't like go against a rehydration clause. If he put it in place and you agree to it, and now I was like, if you didn't agree to it and they made you fight, it was like we're gonna void your bag or whatever if you don't agree to this fight. That'd be like, then they did Ryan dirty. But Ryan literally agreed to the rehydration clause and then lost. And now you want to bring up I was underweight, I was dehydrated, this, that, and the third. It's like, nah, that's irrelevant because you agreed to this fight. You got to come prepared. You got to come ready. Stay ready so you don't have to get ready. And that's a quote that came amongst a bunch of us. Yo, I don't remember the origin of the quote, but I remember it came out of G's mouth. Stay ready so you don't have to get ready. G, you remember that?
Yeah, of course I remember that. Watch your mouth. You know what I'm saying?
All right, cool. So stay ready so you don't have to get ready. And Ryan wasn't ready for last night. And when the lights came on, just like when Rolly happened, when the Tank first Rolly thought he was ready for this, like he could take on Tank. But when he saw all the lights and cameras, he got starstruck. He was in the trance. He was like, I never seen all these people at my fight before. And it happened. He got knocked out. Tank, I'm just saying, I keep getting
talking about.
It's just irritating because I keep Tank and Ryan. Like I'm saying Tank when I need to say Ryan. Ryan, whatever. I'm not building. I'm just speaking. Ryan, you really need to like stop blaming and accept accountability for what you accepted in the clauses in the contracts before this fight. And once you stepped in the ring, everything's out the window because you gotta like fight for your life at this point because you ended the fight on your knee. And Tank, pause. That sounded crazy. You ended the fight kneeling down when it could have ended way worse. But I feel I don't agree with the hydration clause. I don't agree with anything, any of the complaints from Ryan's camp, any of that. Like you lost, you clearly lost, and now you're going to bring up all these excuses to like make people feel like, nah, I had a disadvantage. No, you agreed to these disadvantages. You agreed to it. You know you can live up to it. So don't agree to it, but you agree to it. So I'm not accepting that. I'm not accepting that now. I'm not giving you nothing to complain about. But yeah.
Look, man, I'll be honest with you. When it comes to this whole thing, it gets on my nerves because there are several things. But first, I want to address some of what was already said. It is Ryan making the excuses. The reporter may have been the one who brought it up at that particular point in time, but Ryan was the one who brought it up. There was Ryan sitting there at the press conference where Tank was late to it, and Ryan was the only one there, and Ryan was the one saying, he wants to weight drain me. You know, he wants to weight drain me because he knows blah, blah, blah. Then Ryan was saying, he doesn't want me to eat. I can't eat. He doesn't want me to eat, blah, blah, blah. Ryan was the one who put it out there. But then when the reporter asked him the question, he wanted to make it seem like, oh, I'm the one who signed the contract and it's cool. That's what he ended with. But he starts off by saying, oh, yeah, I felt weak before the fight. But then during the fight, I felt okay. So, you know, no excuses. It's kind of like, but it is an excuse. Like either you felt weak or you were fine. And he is the one who started this whole rehydration clause thing, because how do we know about it? He's the one who put it out there to the media. He was the one who was speaking about it. What Ryan Garcia did is the equivalent of someone stealing your stuff, pawning it, and then trying to help you find it. Like, oh man, like I don't know where it is. Like, let's look for it. They're going through your whole house trying to help you find something they know they stole and pawned already. That's what Ryan did. Ryan is the one who put this out there, and then when the reporters ask him about information he put out there to try to get a soundbite from him, he wants to say, oh, yeah, but I know what I signed. Let's keep it a buck. Ryan used to fight at 135. He moved up to 140. It's a 5-pound difference. We're not talking like this is a major deal. We're talking about a 5-pound difference. We're not talking like Ryan came from 147 all the way down to 135 to fight Gervonta Tank Davis. Because now we're talking about something different. Now we're talking about 12 pounds. Now we're talking about maybe things being a big deal. We're talking about a 5-pound difference in between where they normally fight anyway. And it was a catch weight, so he didn't have to go all the way down to 135. He only had to lose 4 pounds and go down to 136. Then he could only rehydrate 10 pounds. Why does he need to rehydrate more than 10 pounds? And this is what gets on my nerves about the sport, is I already spoke about this several times. One, we act like this 5-pound difference is a big deal. It's really not. In terms of fighting at 135 or 140, it's really not that big of a deal. But here's what becomes a big deal, where dudes want to be weight bullies. Ryan Garcia wants to be a weight bully. And I don't feel sorry for a weight bully. I don't feel sorry for a weight bully. And you don't feel sorry for a weight bully. You just like Ryan. And I'm going to give you an example. If Deontay Wilder chose to drain himself and fight in the cruiserweight division, and he was fighting Usyk at the time Usyk was in the cruiserweight division, and Usyk destroyed Deontay Wilder, and Deontay Wilder argued it was because he had to drain himself to make weight, no one will feel sorry for Wilder. And let's say Usyk put a rehydration clause in there against Wilder. Wilder, who's 6'7", Usyk, who's 6'3". And Usyk says, Wilder, you can only rehydrate 10 pounds. When he beat Wilder, none of y'all would give Wilder an excuse. Why? Y'all don't like Wilder. I wouldn't give Wilder an excuse. Why? Because I would be happy that he got knocked out. So I'm not going to sit around here and give Ryan no excuse. Nah, bro, you agreed to that. Wilder, though, chooses not to be a height and weight bully because Wilder's one of them heavyweights who could really make cruiserweight. He chooses to fight the bigger boys where he has a disadvantage. That's the one thing I can give to Wilder. Ryan, on the other hand, rather than fighting at 147, if he wants to come into the ring weighing big, I guarantee you no one at 147 gives him that rehydration clause. But he wants to fight little tank, short arms, And he wants to come in weighing 20 pounds. He wants every advantage. He wants to be a weight bully. And I can't feel sorry for that. I can't. Because if you don't want that to be a part of the negotiation, then don't fight someone who's small. Manny Pacquiao used to have catch weights. I get the difference between rehydration clause and catch weight, but either way, someone's still draining themselves to make the weight, is my point. It doesn't matter that I drain myself, I come on the scales looking like a skeleton, and then the next day I get to drink water and eat a little bit. So now I come in. You think the damage that I put on my body doesn't matter? It does matter already. He wasn't putting that much wear and tear on his body because it was coming from 5 pounds. What are we talking about? Oh, he was weak. Okay, so let me ask you this question. What did the rehydration clause have to do with Ryan jumping in on Tank recklessly and getting dropped with a shot to the chin? What did the rehydration clause have to do with that? What can you logically argue and tell me would have been different about that exchange had the rehydration clause been different? Go ahead, G. Tell me, what would have been different about that exchange?
Well, I can't definitively answer, but I could assume the reason why he did that was probably because he's probably feeling like I have enough energy now to go for the kill. I don't know if I could do this for all 12 rounds. So he was probably like, let me try to get him out early while I still have the energy.
Let's say I accept that. Why didn't he jump back on Tank and continue with that game plan after Tank dropped him?
Because he got punched in the mouth.
So Tank did something to stop him.
Yeah.
So Tank actually had to do something.
That's a fact.
Okay. So let me ask yourself a question. Now, if he comes in the ring at whatever, 155, 160, whatever, and he jumps on Tank that same way, and Tank lands that same punch, can you definitively say Tank wouldn't have dropped him still?
I mean, if he the way that he landed that punch, he was going to get dropped regardless.
That's my point.
It was a punch that he didn't see. But I think if he was a heavier guy, I think he'll absorb it more. You know, like let's just be real.
A heavier guy.
Yeah, if he was a heavier
guy. How much weight? How much weight you talking?
I don't know, but that's just.
I'm just saying, like, this is what we do in boxing now. Mm-hmm. We live in a world of hypotheticals. So I'm asking G, hypothetically, how much would Ryan Garcia needed to have weight on the night of the fight in order for him to be able to take that punch from Tank and still be able to stand up?
No. Oh, let me backtrack. I'm not saying. Regardless of the weight, that punch, the way it landed, he was going to drop. Any man would have dropped because that was a punch he didn't see. What I'm saying, though, is guys at heavier weights, right, they're most likely they'll get up. They could absorb more of the damage, you know? Like, and it happens often in the heavyweight division. Like, and we'll just use Andy Ruiz because we just talked about Andy Ruiz in the previous segment. Remember, and this is where Ned could refer to me, like, I used to sing Andy Ruiz praises, right? I used to just talk, you know, I used to just be foolish with it. But when Andy Ruiz
you still
whatever. But like when he lost all that weight, right? And remember when he fought Chris Arreola, right? When I was like, whoa, he just got dropped by Chris Arreola? Like Chris Arreola, the past his prime Chris Arreola just dropped you? But you could attribute that to the weight loss. You get what I'm saying? So like, it happens sometimes, man. You know, I'm not coming up, and again, I'm not coming up with excuses for Ryan. I'm just saying that could be a legitimate reason. It's not an excuse for the woman.
All right, go ahead.
Now, I'm just pretty much saying there's a difference between an excuse and a reason. I'm just arguing the reason, not necessarily an excuse. Because, again, I agree with both of you gentlemen. You agreed to the rematch clause. You got in the ring. You showed up, you lost. Hey, it is what it is. I'm just saying, you know, like he has an argument here, you know, like
He doesn't.
He has a fan base. Like, y'all don't want to admit this, but he has a fan base that's willing to just.
Hold on, wait. So briefly, while you made your point, I just want to point out a few differences.
Mm-hmm.
Again, you didn't answer the question. So I asked you, at what weight do you think Ryan Garcia would have been able to absorb punches better from Tank? So at what weight do you think he would have needed? The answer is way more than the 135 limit, way more than the 140-pound limit. He would have needed to have weighed like 150, 155 pounds to be able to absorb punches from Gervonta Tank Davis, who fights at 135, and he fights at 140. On the night that they stepped into the ring, they both weighed in the morning 144, which is basically almost 10 pounds over the 135 limit. Then he had the opportunity to go and gain more weight, right? So my point is, everyone arguing about this rehydration clause is basically arguing that Ryan Garcia needed to weigh more than 150 pounds to beat Gervonta Tank Davis, a man who fights at 135 pounds, which is absolutely ridiculous to me. And the reason why this is different than Andy Ruiz is a heavyweight, which means once you weigh over 200 pounds, you fight anyone at any weight. I've seen Mike Tyson fight dudes with a 50-pound weight disadvantage. I've seen Deontay Wilder fight Tyson Fury at a 50-pound weight disadvantage, and nobody give a damn that Tyson Fury knocked that boy the hell out. So why should I give a damn about Ryan Garcia and 5 and 10 measly pounds? That's what I'm saying. I don't.
All right, listen. This is why Trill needs to be on this segment. I'm not the little man expert here. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I'm imagining 5 pounds makes a huge difference for these gentlemen. So they need that, you know, that extra pound, a pound or two for their performance. I'm not too sure. I don't remember the last time I was 135 pounds, bro. So again, I can't answer this question, but you know, it has to be. I don't know, man. Yo, because think about it. I'm pretty sure anybody else who was in Ryan's situation probably would be like, I'm not agreeing to that rehydration clause. You know, and they have the right to say no, because they probably know that this will affect my performance. So I need to guarantee a higher probability of victory. You know, the rehydration clause, Ryan probably agreed because he probably thought, without it, I'm not going to get the Tank fight. So let me just do this, whatever. Right. And people know about it. And you could be right because Ryan brought it out to the media. Right. But now that it's out there, that could be the justification to get a rematch. You know, and then maybe in the rematch it'd be no rehydration clause, and that could be the marketing point for the pay-per-view sales. That's all I'm saying. It's all marketing, man.
All right. I've been holding up 3 fingers because Kaden was going about the weight list, like Ryan needs to weigh to beat Ryan, to beat Tank. So I got 3 because even if Ryan was 300 pounds, he wouldn't be able to get up from Tank. And if he did, he would need help from the referee and medical staff according to G.
Here's where we can part ways on this discussion for me. It's because if Ryan wasn't trying to fight a little dude from a smaller weight division for notoriety, there would be no need for a rematch clause. He was once at 135. He decided to move up to 140. You know who else decided to move up to 140? Teofimo Lopez and all these other guys. He could have fought Teofimo, but instead he wanted to fight Tank. Why is that? Because he's not going to have the weight advantage like that over Teofimo. He's not going to be able to be the bully that he can be, that he thought he could be against Tank. The reality is he looked at Tank and he thought Tank was sweet. He looked at Tank and he thought, with my height, my reach, and my speed, I'll be able to beat this little man. And Tank looked at him and said, this dude is food. But Tank also has people in his corner like Floyd Mayweather, who observed Manny Pacquiao be able to fight guys at catch weights, when he was a smaller fighter and everybody gave Manny Pacquiao the benefit of the doubt. Like, yeah, that's real. If Miguel Cotto wants to fight the smaller Manny Pacquiao, he should agree to a catch weight. If Antonio Margarito, who was a tall, big guy, wants to fight the smaller Manny Pacquiao, he should have to agree to a catch weight. And nobody held that against Manny Pacquiao. Now, everybody wants to get mad at the rehydration clause. The rehydration clause is simply to protect the fighter from someone showing up weighing 2 or 3 weight classes more than they're supposed to weigh. And to be frank, I don't even know why it's allowed. I brought it up already with Entoro Thunder Gotti, and some clown tried to tell me I was wrong about it and then instantly disappeared when I had to send him the link to show him. I forget the guy's name, like Joey Gamache or something like that. When Entoro Thunder Gotti showed up like 15, 20 pounds, rehydrated, one night, straight looked like it was a weight bully. That's the definition of weight bully. Knocked the dude. Like every time he hit the guy would just bounce everywhere. It was unfair, and it was one of the first fights since they changed the rules of boxing from same-day weigh-ins to you get a night to rehydrate. So if this is going to be an issue, let's do same-day weigh-ins like it used to be. Remember, back in the days, you weighed in the night of the fight, and then you had to fight. You weighed in the morning of the fight, and then you had to fight later. Let's go back to doing that. Then how would Ryan have fared? You feel me? What weight class would Ryan have to fight in then in order to feel comfortable? Ryan would have to be a welterweight. And what type of disadvantages is Ryan going to have at welterweight when he has to see Bud Crawford, when he has to see Earl Spence? First of all, some of them guys, Earl Spence definitely wouldn't even be at welterweight if you change it to same day weigh-in. So what we're talking about are weight bullies. Weight bullies don't like rehydration clauses. No surprise. Cry me a river. Drug cheats don't like drug testing. PD users don't like drug testing, right? So come on now. You want to find a way to cheat and you get mad when someone takes away your little advantage. What more advantages did Ryan Garcia need? He was the taller guy, had the longer reach. You thought he was faster. I knew he wasn't faster. You thought he was faster. He thought he had that. What more? Now he needs to wait too? At what point are we going to question the guy who keeps draining himself to the point where he looks like a skeleton on a scale, then goes home and then regains 15 to 20 pounds so he can go beat someone, and we're going to keep giving him credit for that? At what point are we going to look at that person like, bro, fight in your damn weight class? To me, you shouldn't be able to rehydrate more than 10 pounds anyway. I done called this out way before we ever started this. If you need to rehydrate more than 10 pounds, you just need to go to the next weight class.
That'd be a lot of people then.
But I've been saying that. What? How are you fighting for the welterweight championship of the world when you're the size of a super middleweight? And then the guy who's really fighting for, like, bro, this reminds me of other sports where people are talking about where people are having some types of disadvantages. Oh, like, yo, bro, at the end of the day, what would be fair was if everyone could just show up in the ring weighing the same. But that's not going to happen. Gervonta Davis is a little guy. I don't care what people say. He's a little dude. Yeah, he got pop. Yeah, he got power. Yeah, he got this. But he got that in his little package. That's what makes him amazing and unique. He has all that in his little package. And then you got someone like Ryan who wants to talk all this trash and wants to fight him, but then wants to come in there weighing what? What? I don't know. I tried to look it up while we were doing this. I would really like to know how much he weighed the night of the fight when he fought Javier Fortuna. I really would like to know how much Ryan Garcia weighed the night of the fight when he fought to go. And let's see if it was really that much of a weight difference, or is it just an excuse because you got beat. But at the end of the day, when it comes to this rehydration stuff, if you need to rehydrate more than 10 pounds, to me, I don't want to hear it. Because the reality is Tank and Ryan walked into that ring more than 10 pounds over that limit. So they both got to rehydrate. Now, if he wants to have a weight advantage, you need to ask yourself, why does he need that weight advantage? And if you need that weight advantage, then move to a different division.
Well, technically, I see what you're saying, but if that's the case, then pretty much 135 would just be Tank and Lomachenko, because all these guys in that division should be at 140 for the most part. You know
and why aren't they at 140? Again, because they would have to take fights that are more risky, and they want the advantage. Ben's saying it. Devin's a weight bully. Devin's a weight bully.
But there's weight bullies in almost every division, with the exception of actually, I think every division has weight bullies. The only thing is, it's okay in the heavyweight division, but every other division is what it is. It's like people can't really say anything. They're like, yo, if he made weight, he made weight. So
there's one thing that's never happened. Vasily Lomachenko's okay with Devin in the weight situation. Devin's also the A side. So I'm not tripping on Devin. What Devin does is very taxing on his body as well, which is why he wants to move up. And remember, I don't know if you remember this, when the discussion was, what if Devin moves up to 140 and he doesn't fight Vasily at 135? I was okay with it, because I said, I know what he has to put his body through to make 135. And if he decides that he's no longer willing to do that to make 135 and he'd rather move up to 140, I'm okay with it, because really Devin shouldn't be fighting at 135 anymore. And I don't need to tell anyone that. Look, the last time he hit the scales at 135, the picture went viral.
Yeah, he looked like a skeleton.
Yeah, the picture went viral. So Devin still goes out and wins, although he has to drain himself to make weight. Ryan couldn't do the same, so I don't want to hear anything about it. Again, Devin, when he performs, either underperforms or whatever, he doesn't bring up the fact that he's draining himself to make weight. Although in his mind, he probably knows, like, if I just go to 140 now, I can do better. Devin needs to move up to 140. But Devin's a weight bully. There's no way around it. Vasily's going to be at a huge weight disadvantage. And if he beats Vasily, right, again, to me, okay, cool. But I like I said, Vasily knows this. Vasily signed up for it. So when they go to the press conference, I don't want to hear Vasily saying, like, oh, he's a big guy and he put on blah, blah, blah amount of pounds. It's like, bro, we knew this was going to happen before you stepped in that ring. So when it happens, I don't want to hear you complaining about it. And this is my issue with the fighters. You know this. Terrence Bud Crawford, Earl Spence Jr., they're the same kind of scenario. Bud don't put on that much weight. Bud don't do that. Earl does that. So they step in the ring and they fight. If Earl beats Bud, I don't want to hear, oh, Bud was old and Earl put on all this weight. I don't want to hear it, because we know that that's what Earl does. And we knew Bud was aging going in there. If Bud schools Earl, cool. But Bud don't need none of that. But if you ask me, Earl's a weight bully. Been a weight bully.
Yeah, no. I'm saying we actually agree. I hope people aren't thinking like I'm disagreeing with y'all. I actually agree with everything you're saying. I'm just saying, if you agree, you agree. If you don't agree, don't sign. It's just what it is, what it is. You know what I mean? Like, if Tank and Devin Haney are gonna fight, Haney's not gonna sign no rehydration clauses. Either, yo, you're gonna have to take me as I is, or we're not fighting. You know, and I'm not gonna hate on Tank either which way, if he agrees to the fight or doesn't agree to the fight. If the fight happens, they both agree on the terms, let it happen.
I'm gonna tell you the difference between Devin and Ryan right now. The difference is, right, Devin can't afford to put a cap on his rehydration, because he literally, like, you see him on the scale and you know that this man killed himself to make weight. Ryan stepped on the scale. Yeah, he looked a little dry, but he didn't look like how Devin looks, because you know, Devin, his build, like when Vasily looked at him and Vasily was like, yo, this dude's a heavyweight. like, yo, his ability to make 135 is, I think it's a risky business, like what these guys do to make weight. But when you enter that world, right, of draining yourself, and you enter that world of doing that, you're doing that to have a competitive advantage. Because you could fight at the weight class where you feel comfortable, but you give up advantages. Like if Ryan Garcia didn't drain himself to fight Tank, he could fight Josh Taylor. He could fight Teofimo Lopez, but he's going to give up a lot, and they're going to be bigger. He can go to 147, and he's going to be in there with some dudes who are, listen, I don't even want to imagine what a Bud Crawford versus Ryan Garcia fight.
About Ugas, even Keith Thurman will give him the hand. You know
my point is, you want to be champion, right? You got two options. So you're not going to fight the weight bully. You know what I'm saying? You're going to go in there with Bud. That would be the fight where it's like, you don't play boxing. Bud will play boxing that fight. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I'm saying to you. These dudes are doing, all them dudes, realistically, all them dudes are in 140 and 135 because they know they're not beating Bud and Earl. Like, let's be real about it. If any of them felt like they could beat Bud or Earl, they'd be at 147 right now.
That's a fact.
The reality is that's why they holding the division up. That's why everyone's mad at them. They both good. They're both talented, and they won't fight each other and move on. They just keeping the division stale. But as soon as those two dudes leave, I guarantee you, Teofimo's going. I guarantee you, Josh Taylor's going. I guarantee you, Devin Haney's going. Ryan Garcia's going. But the problem is, though, everyone knows, all those guys below in those lower weight divisions know they can't move up and beat TC, and they can't move up and beat Earl. That's the problem. But as soon as they can, they will. So they got to keep killing themselves to make the lower weights because they can't go to 147 because the shark-infested waters at 147 will get them guys the business. So, anyways, Ned, you look like you want to say something.
I just want to disagree with G because, he was talking about a lot of nonsense. I feel like if you agree with something, you got to live up to that, like what your agreements. But G, you can't sit here and give Ryan all these excuses. That's all.
Really? Oh my God,
G, you've been.
Yeah, I swear to goodness, man.
You make me want to rip my hair out with you, man.
You're right, man. You're right. I'm sorry, Ned. I'm sorry. My apologies.
I
don't know what I'm talking about.
It's like we went from left to right, and then. But I'm not letting G off the hook because it's like, you're saying all these things, and it's cool. I understand, but you gotta understand. Ryan agreed to the terms of the fight, and
I said,
no, G, no, because every time it's like he's dehydrated, he's malnourished, he's underfed, he needs.
I didn't. None of that came out my mouth, bro.
He needs food. Can we start to go? Like, gee.
Gotcha. So you're just projecting things onto me.
No. Gee. All right. Let's go next segment.
You heard what Ned said. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Remember, you can listen to our podcast on all major streaming services. You're going to want to check out the next segment. We are the Boxing Bros.